Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Quick Review Thursday on Indie Film Cafe. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I've got my co-host here. How are you doing, Paul A Presenza?
Yep, Paul A Presenza, known as the Moo Cow. How's it going, everybody?
Woo! And you got Continuity Monkey over there, which
I
don't
do.
don't think we need, but all right, we'll talk about that in a second. And we've got our awesome guest for today. This is our first Quick Review Thursday, but not her first time on any of our shows. Please welcome Just Jenn. How you doing, Just Jenn?
Hi, I'm good.
Yay. We're so happy. This is your first video review since I think did you ever do a video review with us before?
She's been on video, but not on a review.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. No.
She's shy.
I don't think that's the case. I think she just doesn't always want to be associated with us.
Well, prefer audio over video, but it is.
So, Jenn, let me get this straight. So, Paul told me that when we sent you this movie, which is the 2002 film Chance, the first thing you said to him was the 2 minutes that you watched you hated. Is this correct?
So it was actually 38 seconds, and it was the intro voiceover.
So why don't you like the intro voiceover?
I just found the voice annoying, and the talking about what their philosophy on the world and life just was like, oh no, it's one of these. I didn't know what kind of movie this was. I was expecting more along the lines of the other stuff you guys have subjected me to.
Quirky, introspective rom-com.
And I was not expecting that. And when I heard her talk about it, I was like, oh, I know this person. This is when I get a sudden illness and have to leave the room or take my friend home for mysterious reasons when they start talking.
Okay. Well, so let me get this straight. You're not a Buffy fan, right? You never grew up through the vampires.
No, I saw the movie. I had friends who were obsessed with the movie, but the TV show was never my thing.
Okay, that's fair enough. Paul and I are lovers of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So this was sort of a movie that in a way, this was kind of dear to my heart because when I had heard about it first, online, and Amber Benson, who plays Tara in Buffy, had her first film. To me, that was amazing.
I don't know whether anybody else is getting this, but I'm getting a very strange double echo coming from Mr. Moody.
Oh, I knew that was happening.
I was gonna ask about that. I thought it was me.
Nope.
Hear it, my headphones, but I may have to just go back what I was doing before, which is the regular thing. Hold on.
Yeah, you're saying things twice, sometimes three times, and it's overlapping, and it's like I can't follow the first thing.
All right, can you hear me now better? I took the okay. All right, I guess we'll just have to use the computer audio for now. So anyway, what I was saying was that Paul and I are big fans of Buffy and Tara and of Amber Benson. So to me, this was a big deal, especially when this was actually originally, you could not get this movie online, other than through her website, kind of like Neil Breen style. You had to actually buy it from her website, but it came autographed and with a poster and stuff like that. And then, so when I found out it was on on YouTube, I was like, we got to do this for Quick Review Thursday. I
was just going to say, I would like to have actually seen it in DVD because I found that the quality on YouTube was kind of poor. I don't know whether you guys saw that or not, but there was a lot of blurring and a lot of stuff that it just looked like it was just a poor upload. I don't know who uploaded it,
Yeah.
but I would like to see it again, and I would like to see a DVD if it's possible. So please let me know if this is available in DVD.
I have it on DVD somewhere in my thing, so I'll have to look for it. But I have it somewhere. That's the another reason why I chose here instead of doing it in the studio or something, because it's just easier, and I probably scratched up a little bit. Might not even play on our DVD player. We've had that problem before recently. So okay, Jen, what's your first thought, like totally, now that you've given this a chance?
I don't want to be the one to start.
Oh dear.
I wasn't thrilled. I had a hard time figuring out the direction of the movie, the point of the movie. It didn't seem like it was going to turn into a romance. There didn't seem to be any chemistry between the characters. Like, oh, maybe eventually they'll end up to it. I couldn't figure it out for like most of the movie, what was going on, why it was going on. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's
I
fair.
have a lot of positives.
Okay.
To be honest. So.
Well, Paul, what about you? Because this is your first time watching it too.
Yeah, it was definitely my first time. I had heard about the film, but of course, like you pointed out, it wasn't something that you could easily get. So I knew it existed, but I never got a chance to see it. So this was nice to be able to see it. And yes, I am a big Amber Benson fan. I think she's marvelous. I think she's very talented. I'm not sure it really shows in this film. I was a little perplexed by both her performance and by the direction of the film. I like the idea of two quirky, will they, won't they couples, and sort of dealing it through that. It's just, I think she went a little overboard as far as trying to make it extra quirky, like I didn't mind the breaking the fourth wall and having the person talking and sort of introducing things. I see that before too. What I didn't like were things like the music guy,
the strolling minstrel.
Yeah, stepping in all the time. I found him very off-putting. I didn't mind the music. If the music had just been in the background, that would have been fine. But I didn't like having my attention taken away from Amber Benson or any of the other characters when now I'm forced to follow this guy. And I'm like, dude, I get it. You're setting the mood with your music, but I don't want to see you. I don't want to follow you. Why am I following you? So I found that very intrusive. And then I had some mixed feelings with regards to seeing the Buffy people. I mean, it was great to see them doing things outside of Buffy and doing things different than Buffy, because nobody wants to be typecast as just doing vampires and that kind of thing. So that was cool. And I thought James Marsters did a very good job. He always does a very good job. I think he's a good actor. Seeing Andy Hallett was bittersweet. I don't know if you know about this, Jen, but Andy Hallett was, he was in the Buffy offshoot, Angel, and he played a rather beloved character, Lauren the demon, he's a singer because he has a really good voice, as you hear in that, but he's able to sort of tell the future through his talents if he gets other people to sing, and it's this big deal thing. And unfortunately, he died not soon after Angel wrapped up. He had some kind of a dental problem, and he got infected. The infection went to his heart, and it screwed his heart up. And then a couple of years later, he just passed. He was 33 years old, and it was just such a sin. So I remember when he died, it was really kind of heartbreaking because he had a lot of talent, and we could have had so much more from that guy. So seeing him there, it was sad, and I have to say it was really kind of sad. And that's not what the movie wanted to do, but that's kind of the effect it had. And then the other weird thing was I love Emma Caulfield to death. I did not recognize her as Heidi.
That wasn't her.
Really?
No.
Okay, because that's when you look on IMDb, it says Emma Caulfield.
No. That was Laura Boyd.
Okay, that makes more sense, because I was going to say that didn't look like her at all.
No. She was not in this movie. So I don't know who put that up there or whatever on IMDb, but that's completely wrong. I saw that too as well, and I was like, wait, because there is two Heidis listed, and the other one is the real Heidi. Um, the other person that is sort of interesting to note is the girl who supposedly quote unquote OD'd, in the room. That was actually Nicholas Brendan's ex-wife,
Yeah,
former
yeah.
wife. So it was interesting to kind of see and the guy who played the pizza delivery guy, that was one of the writers of Buffy. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, David Fury. So it was sort of
Oh, that's
interesting.
David Fury. Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
yeah, he's done like a couple cameo things. Like he did in the Buffy musical, he was the one who said they got the mustard out, and stuff like that. So he's done a few of these
He got
cameos.
the mustard out.
Yeah. That was just it was so funny. But yeah, that's the cast is awesome to have all these Buffy people in it. But I think the point was for them to be completely different than their characters,
Right.
and so they went you got to see James Marsters in a fucking dress, which I'm sure you never thought in a million
And
years.
lipstick.
And lipstick. So you never thought you would see Spike do that. And I mean, and he kept his blonde hair because probably think they were still filming season 6 and season 7 of Buffy. So ish. So
But
I mean,
the thing about it is it didn't seem natural or necessary for some of those scenes, like the dress scene and then some of the other scenes too, other
I thought it
than
was
to
funny.
be quirky and to be different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
Like scene, like that particular scene wasn't well explained. Why are we doing this? Why do we have an issue with the mom? Why? Like there wasn't any intro. It's just we're doing something, and then that. It was very okay, why?
I don't know. There's some things I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed at the boat scene, with the girl Heidi actually thinking the guy was the soap opera star because she's so dumb. She kept saying she's cheating on you with Rocco, your twin. I don't know. All that shit was still funny to me. I don't know. I haven't seen it in probably 3 or 4 years or something, even
Some of it
more.
was good. Some of it was a little much. I did like when she set the oysters free. That was cute.
Oh God.
Yeah. The stuff I didn't like as much now looking back at it, I didn't really like the weird random neighbor that showed up and stuff. Sometimes he just kind of bothered me.
The bug guy.
The bug guy. He just kind of although I did like him telling them that they got lots of guns so you could get a free pizza. I thought that was sort of funny. But
I like that too.
But aside from that, he just was sort of this sort of annoying character who was kind of pointless, in the end. So I get what you're saying, Jen, that some of this does seem sort of there was no point at the end.
Well, in some of it, the creepy neighbor. See, he came across in the beginning as just very skeezy. I mean, if I was a single female living there, I would be creeped out.
Right.
Absolutely creeped out. And then you find out at the very end, well, no, he has mental issues, and which explains everything, but you don't find that out until the very end. If I had found that, if there was just one little comment in the beginning, about, oh, we don't mind him, he's not all there, he lives with his mom, okay, then a lot of it made more sense and seemed to fit in. But I was totally creeped out by him until the very end when he's leaving.
I guess because she doesn't really know that until later on too is probably why we don't know. I mean, I guess we could guess about that, but that didn't bother me so much. Things that did bother me were things like I was expecting there to have been more of a big deal about the parents, possibly breaking up over this whole issue. And then they really sort of didn't. And then they sort of start lapsing into suddenly quoting Shakespeare. And it just seemed odd. And it's I'm not sure why we needed to see that. It was very strange. Well, other than to just be quirky for the quirkiness sake.
Mm-hmm. I know. And I kind of thought about it because when I was watching that scene, the boat scene, it was sort of funny because remember there's a part where she left off the fact that they had she was the one who instigated the whole thing, right? She was the one who said, we should try experimenting. And then when Heidi chose just the husband over having a relationship with both, she left, on her own or whatever, when she really didn't need to. She could have just called up her husband and said, get her out, or whatever. Like,
I like the part where not only is she being weird, but she starts to panic in Amber's room and starts to crawl inside the couch, like underneath the covers. I wish they had followed that, because that's adorable. I would like to have seen her do that, like the entire scene of her crawling in there and moaning and groaning, and that would have been cute.
Yeah.
Like, Mom, get out of my couch. That would have been fun.
So yeah, I honestly think, because this is a quick review, so we can't go on too much longer about it. But so we talked about some of the negatives. I mean, Jen, do you have anything positive at all, like that you liked?
I really didn't like it.
Yeah.
And because it was just confusing for me, and I don't have the nostalgia with the character, with the actors that y'all have.
Mm-hmm.
To me, they were just actors in this movie.
And I can see how some people might think that approach to this film was a little pretentious.
Yeah.
I can see that. It has some issues. Overall, I still liked seeing it. I'm glad it was made. I'm glad I got to see them, doing different things. Like I said, I really like James Marsters, as always. It was really weird. Amber sometimes was spot on in this, and sometimes she rang kind of hollow. So I'm not sure whether it was just the idea that she also had to direct this film at the same time as acting, that it just kind of divided her attention. But sometimes it just seemed like I just wasn't, believing her line deliveries sometimes. But other times she was spot on. It was great. So it was kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
And everybody else seemed to be pretty good. I just kind of wish there was a little bit more. But what I will say is I thought the direction of the film was decent enough, and it definitely shows that Amber Benson has a lot of different talents. So I would like to see her do some more stuff.
She has directed another movie that I can't seem to
has.
find, called Liars, Lovers, and Lunatics.
Yeah, I heard about it, but I've never seen it.
I have never seen it either. So that'll be fun to try to find. If we can find that, that'll be great.
And I still like it enough that I'd love to get a copy, even though I have some issues with it. And I'm gonna support Buffy
once
folks
again, yeah, that's the thing. Like, to us, it's that. And for Jen, I wasn't sure if you were a Buffy fan or not, which I was assuming no, but I didn't know. I
wasn't sure if it was something that you had tried but like just didn't like, or if it was just something that you just looked at and said, "Meh, I'm not interested."
Just wasn't interested. I'll be honest. I was into Highlander.
I see.
Heck yeah.
Scottish guy in a kilt, huh?
Lots of guys running around with big swords. I was into that.
There can only be one.
I see.
It was kind of funny because there was one and then there was many. Okay.
Yeah. I have a lot of problems with Highlander, but that's a different story.
Oh yeah.
That's a different review. All right. So we're at the portion where we actually do the stinkometer score. So I'm gonna let Paul go first. And Paul, since this is your first time watching it, and what do you think on the stinkometer score from 1 to 10, 10 being stinky and 1 being very good? What would you rate it?
I would probably go 5.5 with this.
Okay.
It's a not a bad little film. It has some issues, but overall I think it's okay. It's a movie that makes me want to see other stuff. There's enough there that I'm like, okay, because I know her family does the producing here, and that they do other things. So it makes me curious about wanting to see more things, and I'm hoping Amber does get an opportunity to make more stuff, and I'd love to find out where that other movie is and watch that as well. On its own, I'd like to see it. I'd like to own a copy. Do I love it? I can't say I love it, but we've seen much worse than that.
Yeah.
So, Yeah,
Oh,
5.5 is probably a good score for me.
all right, I'm gonna go with 3, and that was just because I'm a yeah, I've watched this movie like a million times, and this is something that I don't know. I just feel like it just still makes me laugh at times. Like, you know what I mean? It's one of those films that's going to be hard to sort of, uh, say with that. But I just really enjoyed it. So, how about
Nothing
you,
wrong with
Jen?
that.
Well, I have to be honest, I was going to give it a worse score until Paul said something about the upload quality onto YouTube, because that did make it feel very much more homemade than I guess it is. Does that make
Yeah, I'm
sense?
sure it looks better on DVD.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I have a 7. I
7.
did not like it. I'm sorry,
I was
guys.
about to say that sounds like a 7 that really is masquerading as an 8.
Well, no. Like I said, I would have gone with an 8 because of the quality, and it seemed very amateurish,
Mm.
but I don't know much about all the video stuff, but losing a lot of quality uploading to YouTube makes sense. Having
Yeah.
these big names, it should be a higher quality than what we saw.
Well, especially
So,
because, like I said, I don't know who it was that uploaded. I don't know that it was Amber Benson
I
or
don't think
anybody
it
related
was.
to
I
that.
think it
It
was
probably wasn't.
somebody. I think it was somebody who has the DVD and just
Mhm.
felt like it was a chance for. Geez, it was a chance for people to see it.
yeah.
Right.
Well,
So,
no,
and that's why I'd love to see the DVD,
yeah.
because I'm sure the quality's better.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, well, we'll give it a little bit more because I'm sure it looks better.
And
So,
I did some reading about it, and it does seem like this. I think there was some plea for money out there, and people did like pledge money, and
Mm,
apparently the budget ended up being a lot more than what was originally made for. But I think it was only something like $30,000 or $35,000. So that's this goes to show you. I mean, you can still make a somewhat decent film without spending a whole lot of money. I mean, and when you look at it, there aren't really a whole lot of sets. I mean, there's mainly the apartment, and then there is the thing with the boat, which I guess she must have known somebody who
there's
had
the
a boat.
club and maybe the park or
Yeah,
whatever, but like aside from that, you're right. There's like
pretty
maybe
minimal.
5 sets, and they kept it. They kept it pretty. They kept it pretty indie, and
Right.
I'm happy that, like you said, I'm happy it got made, because like it was their love, that you could tell there was something about it. And that maybe that's another reason I really enjoy it is like, I still laugh at moments that are, funny and stupid and whatnot that, crack me up. James Marsters it was great to see him sort of play this like kind of different role where he's sort of childish, or whatever, more childish than Spike, if you can believe that, and I kind of like that. Like,
Yeah, no, I get that. I totally get that. At the same time, I get the feeling Amber wanted to say more about this Chance character than really got translated through the film. I think she wanted to say a lot about just, women in that particular period of 2002, and because she makes some interesting remarks about men and women and about relationships. And I think had she gone a little bit more in that direction and fleshed that out a little bit more, I would have had a lot more insight into the character rather than just quirky, funny, maybe not funny stuff. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
definitely. All right. Well, thank you guys. This is awesome. We'll be back in 2 weeks with Paul's episode, so we're really excited about that.
Jen is
And
so excited, you can tell.
Jen,
I
because
promise you'll enjoy this one. This was a fun one. It's okay. You may not love it. Okay, I can't promise that, but it's a modern movie. I think you'll be surprised.
well,
Maybe.
neither one of y'all are trustworthy. So,
that's true.
Get
That's
your
true.
schnitzel out. That's all I'm gonna say.
My ideas of great movies is definitely not Jen's my ideas of great movies. So that's fine. Everybody has their own taste.
Mhm.
But thank you for checking this out, Jen and Paul. Thank you for watching this for the first time.
I'm ready for Jen's revenge, where she makes us watch movies that she picks and says, "Ha, whether you like it or not, you're watching this."
That would be the most mainstream movie I could find. The blandest,
Oh,
most mainstream movie I could find. And I couldn't sit through that. So
There you go. Well, thank you
Selling
guys.
yourself short there, kiddo. Sure, there's stuff that you really like that you're just not sharing with us.
I got my
Probably. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. And everybody, thank you guys for watching. Tune in 2 weeks for another episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.